Facebook peeps. Okay, so tons more questions have come in. So this video is for educational and informational purposes only. If you feel you need a therapist, please go to therapy. Go to Google, type in therapy, your city, Psychology Today will pop up. Good Lord, I'm losing my mind. Pop up, click on that, and it will have the therapist in your area. Also, the views and opinions stated herein are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, APA, or any other damn therapist for that matter. Boom, shakalaka, done. Okay, so tons and tons and tons of questions that I need to answer. So first one is on triangulation. What is it? What is it not? Okay, so there's two ways to triangulate here. And abusers, what they do, and you need to be aware of this, they troll sites like this. They troll any of the abuse survivor groups. They troll a whole bunch of the pages, and they try to learn as much as they possibly can so that they can twist psychology and use it to their benefit, okay? Oh, hey, Grace. So what they do is they take psychological terms and then misuse them and then use them for their own purposes. So let's talk about triangulation. So there's two forms of triangulation. So triangulation can be one in which the abuser is hoovering an old boyfriend or girlfriend, okay, and trying to bring them into the current relationship. So now we got a triangle, okay? We've got the person that they're dating, and we've got the other person that they're flirting with, and then we've got the abuser who's kind of manipulating the whole thing. So they use that as triangulation in order to make the target of abuse insecure, to make them feel like, you know, they're going to be replaced. And it's quite obvious. It's not just a, hey, Susan, it's not just a, you know, hey, I'm talking to an old friend of mine, or hey, you know, I am, you know, being my normal flirty self. It is, oh, well, you know, so-and-so did this with me, and we went out and had coffee, and, you know, he or she was really flirty and wanted to bed me, and blah, 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 blah. You know, it's really sick. It's really sick. So what they do is they bring in a third party into the relationship, and then they use that third party as a leverage to make the target of abuse feel insecure, replaceable, you know, less than, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. In a healthy, normal relationship, you don't need to play games like that. You don't. There is no game playing in a healthy, normal relationship. So, hey, Rebecca, thank you. And hi, Jessica. So there is no game playing in all of that. But in an abusive relationship, they intentionally stir up jealousy. It's all about the jealousy. It's all about the jealousy. Get the other partner jealous or insecure that the abuser is going to leave them for this other person. Hi, Chris. My in-laws have done this triangulation to make me feel I don't exist. Oh, I'm sorry. That sucks. So that's one form. So that's a romantic form of triangulation of communication, or triangulation. The other thing is triangulation of communication. So it's like an old game of telephone. So you've got, you know, again, a triangle. So you have the operator up here, and then you have point A and point B, the two other parts of the triangle. So you've got operator up here, A and B, and what ends up happening is the operator, who is the abuser, will go to B and say, you know, C said blah, 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 blah about you. Or C said that you said blah, 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 blah about me. Well, now they've set up this triangulation. So now the person who's being attacked either goes, that's a load of shit, I never said that, blah, 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 blah. You tell C to go fuck themselves, blah, blah, blah. Well, now the operator can go back to C and twist it how the fuck ever they want to. Well, you know, B said that you were a liar, and you were this, and you were that, and they just go off and they twist it. That's what abusers do. Happy Valentine's Day. Oh, I totally forgot it was Valentine's Day. Whoa, yeah, happy Valentine's Day, guys. So, all right, where was I? So they use it as a form of communication triangulation. So when that happens, and this is often happens in very toxic families, very dysfunctional families, what they will do is they will pit siblings against each other, or parents against each other, or a parent against a sibling. So-and-so said such and such, and you tell them this, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So the second somebody says, well, so-and-so said, you said, ba, ba, ba. Stop right there. I am not going to play this game. Let's get them on the phone. and let's talk to them right here, right now, so that they are in the room and they know exactly what you are saying, period. Guarantee you, the abuser is going to do one of two things. They are either going to turn into a screaming Mimi because their game has been blown, and they will start, you know, literally losing their shit because now you're not playing their game. You're not giving them the power. You're not allowing them to triangulate. And they will start then using the triangulation against you. What they will do is they will go back to the abused and they will say, well, anytime that that person says something horrible about me, they're triangulating. That's what they do because they don't want to get their cover blown. They don't want the abused, the target, to see what a piece of shit the abuser is. And so they will then turn that against the family and friends and say, well, if they say anything about me, that's triangulation. No, that's the family and friends going, hello, red flag, this person is evil, catch a fucking clue, grow a brain, we don't like him or her. You know, it's really important. And that is what abusers do. And that's how they isolate. So it really is a no-win situation for the family and friends of the target of abuse, because the abuser will use those catchphrases against the family and friends that are trying to warn the target of abuse, dude or dudette, we see what this bitch or this asshole is doing. Hello, catch a clue. You know, this person is keeping you up at night and causing you to lose jobs and separating you from your children and keeping you from your family and making sure you're not talking to any of your friends. What the fuck? You know, but then the abuser will go, oh, well, they have said that, you know, they are triangulating. They are, you know, and they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. They wouldn't know what real triangulation was if it walked up and kissed them. So that is what they do. So, and that's how they control family and friends. And they will use just enough psychology so that it sounds plausible. And they will use just enough catchphrases. That's why you guys have got to be careful when you're on here with me. And I did notice a couple of trolls last Sunday. If you catch somebody that feels hinky, don't respond to them. Absolutely don't respond to them and let me deal with it. I've hired an intern and we're going to start deleting and banning people that are being disruptive. So because I'm not going to put up with it. I don't have time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that shit. So anyway, that's that. Happy narc-free day. Right on. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. I worked in an office that had that dynamic. It was awful. Everyone was miserable. Yeah, you know, it's just, it sucks. You can't trust anybody and it's just awful. And, you know, I've worked in places like that too, in mental health places, and you get the hell out as soon as you can. It's like, you know, I talk in my book, What's Wrong with Your Dad? As soon as I had my private practice license, as soon as I could go out on my own, I was like, peace out, bitches. Because I can't stand working with people that are unethical. So it's yeah. It's a thing. Okay. Oh my God, my ex-boyfriend used to do that to me and an ex-friend of mine. I ended things with him in either 09 or 010, blocked him across the board. He's still trying to contact me through other family members. Yeah, hoovering. Yeah, absolutely. Flying monkeys, make sure you X them out of your life. Okay, so I hope that answered the question on triangulation. So in a romantic relationship, the triangulation is when the abuser brings back into the picture an old boyfriend, an old girlfriend, and then uses the whole, oh, you know, I'm flirting with them and they're flirting with me and they want me, and oh, look, they have this Corvette and you're driving a VW Bug, and I'd rather have a VW Bug. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's the kind of thing that they do, trying to get the target of abuse upset, feeling less than, you know, put down, and insecure. That's what they want. And that way they can control easier. It's like, do this or I'll leave. Do this or I'll go with this person. That kind of thing. Okay, and then in communication, triangulation of communication is where they act as the operator and they go and say, well, you know, a C said that you said, or C said this about you, in which case you stop them cold. Nope, thank you. Let's get them on the phone. Guarantee you that's going to piss them right the fuck off, and they're either going to turn into screaming meanies where you cannot understand a word they're saying, or they're just going to stop because they realize, oh, game over. They're on to me, you know, and then they'll stop because they're not getting their jollies. They're not getting their rocks off with that. All right. So that is triangulation. If you guys have any other questions on that, feel free to put them in the comments because I can answer that. Okay. The next question is using the kids as pawns to hurt the target. For example, oh, the little girl whose dad cut off her hair. Okay, let's talk about that case. So apparently it was a divorce case. Apparently the child in question was a teen, 15 years old, 15, 16. So not a child, not a baby by any stretch of the imagination. The mom, the mother, the custodial mother, okay, said for her birthday, let's go get you highlights. So she did, and it looked gorgeous. She had hair, not like mine, but she had really long hair, and it was blonde, and it was pretty. And she was a pretty little girl. She is a pretty little girl. So she got blonde highlights in it. Well, the dad decided that, the dad and his mother, Wicked Witch of the West, hello, oh my God, I think we found the original source, said, how dare you dye her hair, this is what harlots do, blah, 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 a whole bunch of religious bullshit. Shaved her head, cut her hair so short, she looked like a boy. You know, and it just, and it was done for two reasons, power and control, period. It was a power and control game to hurt the mother. Had nothing to do with the kid. The kid was an innocent pawn. It could have been anything. Honestly, it could have been anything. If the mother had bought the child new clothing, they probably would have gone in with scissors and cut them up. And I've seen parents do that. Or if the child had gotten, you know, a game or something, the parent would have destroyed the game. So it's anything that the other custodial parent does for the child ends up getting damaged, vandalized, taken away, you know, and it was a humiliation. It's an absolute, you cut a woman's, I'll tell you what, we're going to talk about this right now. You know why I hated Waterworld with Kevin, what the frick his name is? I can't even think of what his name is because I hate him so much. In that movie, there's a scene where there's a strong female character and she says something that pisses him off. So he grabs her and it was a symbolic rape and he like sliced her hair off. And I was sitting there in the theater going, bitch, you touch my hair and your balls are going to be so far up in your head, you're not even going to be able to find them. So it's a rape, basically. It is a humiliation. It is a way to put women in their place. And conversely, guys get this done to them as well. When boys allow their hair to grow long, if you've got an abusive dad or an abusive mom, they will take that kid and they will slice the hair off. It's a humiliation, guys. If you look at cultures across the world, one of the biggest humiliations is having your hair cut against your will. Samson and Delilah, anyone? Hello? You know, there's that. There's the Chinese tradition of not cutting the braid that goes down the back. Across the world, being forced to cut your hair is a humiliation. It is a rape. It is a power and control issue. And this father is abusive as the day is long. I'm sorry, you don't do that to your kid. Costner, thank you. I loved some of the earlier movies, but then he did Waterworld, and I'm like, what were you thinking? Hello, dumbass. Ugh, don't get me started. Anyway, then he started marrying women that you couldn't tell which one was his wife and which one was his daughter, but I won't go there. But that's none of my business. All right, I'm sorry, a little judgy today. So, all right, so that is a power and control issue. That is using a child as a pawn. Do you really think that this kid is going to grow up and have any respect for her father or men or anything? You know, it's kind of like, I'm sorry, how to screw up your kid in 2 easy steps. Really, I hope to God she's getting counseling. I hope to God the mom's getting counseling. I hope to God that some, you know, court judge sees this for the abuse that it is. It's abusive, period. The girl is old enough to make a decision about whether or not she's going to get highlights in her hair. I'm sorry, she's 16. Dog-faced banana patch. Anyway, so that was abuse, and they do, and you've got to understand. You guys understand this, but courts need to fucking understand this. That these assholes, these narcissists, these malignant narcissists, malignant borderlines, will do anything to be right. Their sense of right and wrong is very, very skewed, and they will hurt whoever it takes in order to be right, in order to get the win. What they don't understand is if you do scorched earth policy, there is no win, ever, ever. I mean, you may win in the short term, ha, 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 I got them, ba, 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 ba. In the long term, you lost your daughter. She's never gonna speak to you again. I wouldn't. You've lost whatever grandkids they're going to have. Of course, if you're a narcissist, you don't effing care, but it's all about the appearance to them. So I can guarantee you this guy's probably going to fight anything to try to get the kid away from him because it's all about appearances. So little bit passionate about that. That really cheesed me off. So yeah, they do this. They use kids as pawns to hurt the other person. Female abusers do it as well. So don't kid yourself. It drives me crazy when everybody always assumes that I'm talking about male abusers. I'm not. I'm talking about any abuser, male or female. Doesn't matter. You behave in these actual, manners that, honest to God, it's almost like they have a script for. You're a freaking abuser. I don't care if you've got a penis or not. You're a freaking abuser. So there it is. All right. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say is, and I didn't get to this in the other session because, the other video on courts because I got a little distracted. When you are dealing with a high conflict divorce case or a high conflict custody case, as it was in this case, the abuser is going to try to do things to get you to act crazy in front of other people. Gray rock, guys, gray rock, gray rock, gray rock, gray rock. I cannot say that enough. You've got to gray rock it, and you've got to stop responding. It drives me insane when I'm dealing with a target of abuse and they're like arguing back with them and, shooting them emails and shooting them texts. I'm like, stop it. Stop it. You are harming yourself. Stop it. Because that'll be used in the court against you. Stop it. Let them get all wound up. Let them be the ones to send the crazy emails and the crazy texts and, all of that. Don't you be the one who does that, because I can guarantee you they'll use it against you. So if you've got a huge self-sabotage thing going on, you might want to check that at the door, especially if you're fighting for custody. It's like, stop doing the tit for tat. Stop it. It's not going to help. It's only going to make things worse. So what you want to do is document, gray rock, gray rock, gray rock, gray rock, gray rock, and let them lose their shit. So what's the difference between gray rock and silent treatment? So gray rock is where you just go, yeah, gotta go. No emotional response. Silent treatment is what abusers do to control the target. Why? Because if somebody is very sensitive and loves a person, it is a manipulation. And so the silent treatment is literally, and I kid you not, you have an argument or they don't get their way, and what they'll do is they'll either announce it, I'm not talking to you. And then they'll just not talk to you for days, sometimes weeks. I have heard of it going on for months. And it's a way to punish the person who is not conforming to what they want. It's a punishment. Whereas with gray rock, it's just like, I'm not playing your game. Yep. I'm watching the vein on the side of your neck throb. That's fascinating. Are you done yet? Okay. Fascinating. That's gray rock. So it's low contact. You're just not giving them anything. You're not giving them anger. You're not giving them sadness. You're not giving them happy. You're not giving them anything. You're not giving them anything that they can feed off of. Remember, that's narcissistic supply. That's why I keep telling people, stop fucking arguing with these assholes, because you're giving them narcissistic supply. They don't care whether the attention is positive or negative. In fact, if it's negative, so much the better, because, drama. They love drama. They love drama. That's why they do it. Everything they do has got a purpose to it. Don't kid yourself. So yeah, they don't care whether the attention is negative or positive. If you're giving them gray rock, they have nothing. So let me give you a good example. I had a client not too long ago who absolutely had an explosive rage and was trying to intimidate and manipulate and control. And I just sat there. Yeah, I hear you. You're really angry. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, breathe. You're fine. They didn't like that. But they calmed down because they realized they weren't going to get the emotional response from me that they were looking for. That's gray rock. Okay, hope that answered the question. Where was I? Extinction bursts. What are they? Okay, somebody was asking me about extinction bursts. So an extinction burst, the way it is used in psychology is that when it's gray rock. Funny how that all melded into that. So when somebody is doing a behavior that you don't want. So for example, I'm going to use a 3-year-old or a 2-year-old doing a temper tantrum. You do not give them the attention that they are looking for. That is called extinction bursts. So the 2-year-old, mommy, 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 I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it. And you say, no, I'm sorry, honey, we can't get it right now. I know you want it. Remember, you always validate. You don't go, you don't want that. That's telling them to not trust their gut. Yes, I get that you want it, and no, we're not going to buy it right now, but I get that you want it. I understand that, and it's not going to happen. Which is the raging that narcissists do and that malignant borderlines do. So an extinction burst is where you just go, okay, well, let me know when you're rational. And then you turn around and walk out. That puts an end to the behavior, because a 2-year-old, and actually narcissists and borderlines eventually figure out, or they discard that, what they do is they discard, is that the target of abuse is not going to put up with this. This is a behavior that's not going to get them what they want. And so they will discard then the target of abuse, because it's like, well, shit, I'm not getting my drama fix. So, what's the point? And so that behavior either stops or it changes. So what usually they'll do is they'll up the ante and they'll do something else, like waking you up at 2 o'clock in the morning and screaming. That's usually what they do, because they're freaking assholes. Okay. That's an extinction burst. I hope that answered the question. So an extinction burst is what you do when a behavior is inappropriate and you're not about to give into it and you're not about to allow it to continue. So it's like with a temper tantrum, you walk away. I mean, obviously in a room that you can see what's going on, but you walk away and you're just like, yeah, okay, I'm not interested in talking to you when you're doing this. Turn around, walk out. And the kid very quickly learns, oh shit, this does not get me what I want. So yeah. That's an extinction burst. I hope that explains the question. All right, what is the difference between highly sensitive people and post-traumatic stress disorder? There is technically not a diagnosis of highly sensitive people in the DSM at all, period. So HSP is something that is lingo that is mostly in the groups, okay, for people to explain empathy. So really what they're talking about is they're talking about somebody who's very empathic, who feels, which is basically every normal human being on the face of the planet, except for narcissists and except for malignant borderlines, because they don't. So what it is highly sensitive people are basically empaths, which is every single person on the face of the planet. You feel, you're very sensitive, you feel, and you allow yourself to feel. And all human beings, with the exception of the narcissists and the borderlines, who are malignant, feel. We have that natural empathy. Small children have got that natural empathy. I remember babysitting my nephew Brandon one day, and we were watching, I think it was a Tarzan movie, and something really sad happened and an animal died. And so my mom and I were kind of like, oh, and then Brandon was like almost ready to cry, because he was like, he picked up that we were sad, and he couldn't have been over 1, maybe 2. So humans, us kids, are naturally empathic. We feel. We get taught to not feel by abusers, by being abused, by all of this stuff. PTSD is post-traumatic stress disorder. So after the fact, traumatic, it was awful, it was a horrible event. Stress, anxiety disorder, you ain't handling it well. That's what that is. And it has a whole list of, behaviors that can get misdiagnosed as narcissism, because they do rage. So when somebody does have severe PTSD, CPTSD, they can rage, hair trigger, irritable, angry, because anger is the safest emotion to access. And if you are dealing with military, it's not exactly that the military encourages the guys and the gals to sit around and sing Kumbaya. Okay, so the easiest emotion to access is anger. So when they're scared, anger. When they're feeling vulnerable, anger. When they're feeling, whatever, anger, because it's easy and it's macho and it's respected in that culture. Does that make sense? So that's the difference. And somebody was saying, well, yeah, but when they get angry, it can be, it feels like a rage. Well, it is a rage, but it's not a narcissistic rage. There's a difference. There really, truly is a difference between a borderline malignant, a narcissistic malignant rage, and a CPTSD rage. I can tell the difference, but there's a difference. It's like the ones that are the personality disorder are intended to threaten, intimidate, coerce, manipulate. The ones coming from the CPTSD guys, they don't know how to, or girls, okay? They don't know how to process that vulnerable emotion. They don't know how to process that, the fear or the sadness or that softer, not macho emotion. They don't know how to, because anger has always been the go-to. Anger has always been, and anger keeps us safe, guys. Remember, it's part of the fight, flight, or freeze, or fawn center. So when we get activated, when our little amygdala goes, help me, something's horrible coming in. We had a thought, we saw something, we saw a wreck, we're at war, we're in a horrible family situation. This thing gets activated, the hippocampus, hypothalamus light up, tell the brain to release cortisol. Cortisol is our stress hormone. We tense up. We start taking little puffy breaths. We don't get enough CO2 oxygen exchange. That then tells another part of the brain, oh my God, we're going to die. It tells the adrenal gland that sits on the kidneys to release all the adrenaline. So now we're sitting there shaking like a leaf, little teeny tiny puffy breaths, which does not help with clear thinking, racing thoughts, racing thoughts, racing thoughts. And then we go into one of two reactions. We either split off into your stereotypical panic attack, which is the, oh my God, I'm dying, I can't breathe, boom, keel over, or you go into the Incredible Hulk. You turn into a rager, and it's to stay safe. So it's the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn response. So anger is part of that to keep us safe, because if you're the Incredible Hulk or the Incredible She-Hulk and you're, nobody in their right mind is going to come anywhere near you. So it's a way to protect yourself. It's a way to keep people at arm's length. So that is the difference between that. I hope that answered that question. What do you do when the narc is a guest in your home, but they're stonewalling and give the silent treatment, or just being disrespectful in general? You tell them, bye-bye. 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 Sorry, this is my home, my rules. You're not going to do that. If you're stonewalling, bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Yeah, that's game playing. It's your home. It's your rules. Absolutely. Don't give your power away. That's what we tend to do, is we tend to give our power away, and we go, oh gosh, I don't want to hurt their feelings. I don't want to make it worse. I don't want them to, seek revenge. I don't want them whatever. Well, you can't control what they're going to do, but you can control what goes on in your own home. What do you do when you are the scapegoat and there's no one left? Leave with a side of leave and an extra helping of get the fuck out. Yeah. There's no point in sticking around. That's why would you? It's no fun. So let them be scapegoats to themselves. So you let them deal with their own nasty energy. Okay, where was I? Yeah. Okay, abusers versus fleas versus mirroring. Okay, so somebody asked me a question. They sent it in and they said, okay, I'm confused. Explain to me the difference between what an abuser does versus, the target picking up fleas versus, the identifying with the aggressor, which is what targets of abuse do in the relationship. Okay, so abusers, here's the thing that drives me crazy, and I get this question a lot. Do abusers know what they're doing? Absolutely. Absolutely. Don't kid yourself. They are calculated. They know exactly what move they're making. They know exactly what buttons to push. They are doing everything with an intent and a purpose because they want to control. It's all about power and control for them. Remember that. So when abusers do things, it is with intent. So during the love bombing phase, what they do is they mirror us. They mirror our values. They mirror our joie de vivre. They mirror our happiness. They mirror our goals. They mirror our wants, our needs, our desires. So again, it's just like, I don't know if you guys saw Frozen or not. I love having great nieces and nephews because I get to watch all the Disney movies. But I finally got to see Frozen over Christmas, and that Prince Hans with, oh shoot, the sister, not the pretty blonde, but the pretty redhead. What the heck was her name? Anna? Was it Anna? Anyway, Hans, the prince, oh, I love what you love. And you like pizza? I like pizza. You like to ice skate? I like to ice skate. You like vanilla ice cream? I like vanilla ice cream. It was like they were simpatico. It was like, and it was love bombing. And I don't know who wrote it, but I could freaking kiss them because that's what I use as the example of what love bombing is. So Hans is like love bombing, love bombing, love bombing, love bombing, love bombing. Anna, yes, thank you. It was Anna. Love bombing, love bombing, love bombing, love bombing. And of course, Anna was just like, oh, it's Prince Charming, and of course that's what we think, because what he did is he mirrored Anna's joy, Anna's love of ice skating, Anna's love of, whatever it is she loved, he loved. you know, her hobbies. Oh, that's my hobby too. Oh, you like sewing? I like sewing. You like this? I like that. So he mirrors, or he or she, because remember, abusers can be females, guys. Abusers can be females. So they mirror back to us who we are. That's why I say this is the hardest thing to wrap your head around. When the abuse is over, and I'm going to talk more about this on Sunday, when the abuse is over, when the relationship is over, when the abusive relationship is over, we're devastated because we want to get back to that love bombing phase. We want to get back to that person being the perfect match. We want to get back to, so essentially what we don't realize is that we fell in love with ourselves. Wrap your head around that one. Yeah, they were mirroring us to us. They absolutely were. They are perfect mimics. It's almost like a horror movie. You know, in the horror movies where the alien mimics somebody, like Alien or whatever those movies are, where the alien looks and sounds like the person, but it's really an alien and they're going to kill you as soon as they get the chance. That's what you're dealing with. They mimic. They do not have the natural empathy that the target of abuse has. They do not. But they mimic, and they are us. They mirror us back to us, and that's what we fall in love with. So fall in love with yourself, like without the narcissist, because you're worth it. So just remember that. So, okay. So that's mirroring for an abuser. Okay, so because the abuser wants to sucker us in. They want to get us into the fold. They want us to, you know, they want to get their hooks in us so that we stay. So they're mirroring who we are back to us, and we think that it's them, when in fact it's us. And then as soon as they have their hooks in us, the mask slips and the nastiness comes out, and then the criticism starts, and you never do anything right, and why do you wear that, and how come you have your hair that way, and why do you snore when you sleep, and why do you know, and just weird things. Why do you eat like that? Why do you make those noises when you eat? Why do you? It's criticism, discard, criticism, discard, criticism, discard. It's the discard phase, and yeah, it's the abuse phase. So, and then we're shocked, going, wait, I thought you were my perfect match. What the fuck, you know? And then we try desperately to get that back again. It's that intermittent positive rewards. And then they'll show it every little bit. You know, it's like, okay, I'm going to marry you now. I'm going to marry you now. Yeah, fuck you. Yeah, that's what they do. It's like, mirror, 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 abuse, 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 mirror, 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 abuse, 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 mirror, 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 mirror. And that's what we're addicted to. We're addicted to those intermittent positive rewards. And the positive rewards is getting to see that mirror again. Pretty diabolical, if you ask my opinion. All right, so versus fleas. Okay, so let's talk about that. So when a target of abuse is with an abuser for a long period of time, they start picking up the fleas because the behavior has become normalized. So I'm hearing a phone ringing. Okay, I'll get it in a minute. So the behavior has become normalized. In other words, what abusers will do is they will say things like, well, you know, everybody lies. No, everybody does not lie. But the abuser does. Well, everybody steals, everybody cheats. This is okay for you to do that because everybody does it. Well, no, they don't. So that is what they do, is they normalize psychopathic behavior. They do. They normalize it. They normalize lying, cheating, stealing, you know, being cruel, being mean, saying horrible things. They normalize all of this. Well, this is normal. Everybody does that. Every couple has this problem. Every couple. I'm sorry, are you all 7 billion people on the face of the planet, bitch? I don't think so. You know, you can't say that every person does this because you're not in everybody's head. So, and plus the fact, psychopathic behavior, generally reserved for psychopaths. I'm just saying. So yeah, it's so they normalize the behavior, the maladaptive behavior that they do, and then the target of abuse starts picking it up because it's now been normalized for them. Now, mirroring for a target of abuse is when the target starts kind of catching a clue and start going, oh, shit, I'm being abused. This is dangerous. And so they start mirroring the abuser's behavior in order to fit in. So this is usually found, it happens in romantic relationships, but it's usually found in a toxic parent situation. So they mirror whoever the abuser is, the behavior, they kind of match that energy, or they match that nastiness, or they match that. They're mirroring back to the abuser who the abuser is, so the abuser will leave them the fuck alone. That's what it is. It's a safety thing. It's a way to, again, slip under the radar and not get harmed. So oftentimes you will see kids do that. That's where you have the one kid who does identify with the abuser and kind of, you know, is almost like their little mini-me kind of thing. And they're doing it to stay safe. They're not even aware that they're doing it because they're kids. In a romantic relationship, it's generally when somebody recognizes that if they don't toe the line, they're going to get punished. You know, and so while the abuser is around, and this is what's so confusing for family. It's like, while the abuser is in the room, the target of abuse will just be a freaking asshole. But as soon as the abuser goes away, the target of abuse goes back to being the sweet, kind, wonderful, gentle person that they've always been. And it's because they are mirroring the aggressor in order to stay safe. It's what they do. It's what we do. It's what we do to stay safe. It's not adaptive. It's not a good thing. It's maladaptive, but that's the difference between all of those. I know towards the end of my marriage, I would get pretty nasty with my ex. Yeah, we tend to do that because we're tired of the abuse. But you know what? Getting nasty with them doesn't do any good. They don't get it. They really don't get it. You could hit them over the head with the biggest, you know, bonk ever, and they'll still be like, ooh, you know, they just don't get it. They don't care. They don't care. They don't want to be healthy. They don't want to be normal. They don't want, what they want to do is control, and they want to power, and they want to hurt, and they want to harm, and they want to be, you know, assholes. So there that is. Okay. Abuse amnesia, abuser versus target. Okay. So again, somebody got a little bit confused. You got the deer in the headlights look. It depends on the abuser. It depends on how psychopathic they are. It really does. If it's a psychopath, they will up the ante and maintain control, because it's all about control. If it's a minor narcissist, a little bit less than a psychopath, yeah, you'll get the deer in the headlights because their brain is going click, 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 click. Oh my God, I don't know what to do. She's not acting the way she always has. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? So it depends. If you're dealing with a psychopath, they'll just up the ante. And that's where it kind of gets dangerous. That's why I say don't poke the bear if you can avoid it, because you don't know what these assholes are going to do. You just don't. So, good, Amy, I'm glad that answered your question. Okay, good. Okay, abuse amnesia, abuser versus target. Okay, so when an abuser is abusing, they know goddamn good and well what they're doing, and they remember it. They know what they've done. They abso-fucking-lutely know what they've done. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it over and 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 over. And it's funny because when you point out the abuse, you know, babe, you're banging pots and pans at 2 o'clock in the morning and it's waking me up. Can you please not do that? I never did that. That didn't happen. What are you talking about? Gaslighting. It's gaslighting. It's gaslighting. It's gaslighting. Okay. So the abuse amnesia on the part of the abuser is they deny. Call them Cleopatra, queen of denial. It's not just a river in Egypt anymore. They deny and they gaslight and they claim it never happened. Or you bring something up that just happened or happened a day or two ago, and they'll deny they ever said it. I never said that. That never happened. What are you talking about? You're crazy. Abuse amnesia on their part. So they conveniently forget what they have said, what they have done, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Abuse amnesia on the part of the target is part of PTSD. So when something has been so traumatic and so harmful and so frightening, a PTSD survivor will often forget details of what it was. So with kids, when we've experienced trauma in our childhood, it is not uncommon to forget entire chunks of your childhood if there was abuse going on, ongoing. So that's abuse amnesia. That's where you disassociate and you're like, oh my God, I can't cope, and my brain just went shut down. It's a way to survive. It's a survival mechanism. So that's different. With the abuser, they know goddamn good and well what they've done. They do, or they wouldn't keep doing it, especially when it's been called out and pointed out to them multiple times. But with a target, it's like literally, it's like, I can't remember from age 5 to 9. What the fuck? I can, but abuse survivors generally can't. Depending on the level of abuse and depending on how well or how not well they coped with it, depending on who was there to help them or not. So that's abuse amnesia. So I hope that answers that question. Okay, I am running out of time. What is the What is the borderline between malignant narcissist and psychopath? Oh dear. Okay. So, malignant narcissist, when they have slid into malignant narcissist, so you have traits of down here. Okay, so traits of, full of themselves, big man on campus, thinks their shit doesn't stink, yada, 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 yada. As they slide further down the line, they start harming people and manipulating people and doing it intentionally so that they get their way. When they slide into the dark triad, which is truly malignant, okay, because you're dealing with narcissist, Machiavellian, which is the control freak, and the psychopath. So that is the technical definition of a malignant narcissist, is they've now lost every moral compass that is out there, and they are just out for themselves. And there's usually sadism in that as well. They enjoy inflicting the pain. They enjoy inflicting punishment. They enjoy the power and control. It's narcissistic supply for them. They enjoy the upset. They will sit there and laugh as you cry. That's pretty much psychopath. So what it is they've lost all moral compass. There is no there there. There is nothing to appeal to because there is no moral compass there, if that makes any sort of sense. My ex was diagnosed using the MMPI 1 and 2. He hit 100 on all. Wow. Okay. So yeah, it's when they've slid into that part where they're doing it on purpose. They know that they're doing it and they don't fucking care. And they are harming other people, and they are manipulating other people, and they're enjoying it, and they're wanting to. It is part of their drug of choice. Okay. All right. Okay, guys, I have got to jam because I've got stuff I got to do today, and it's raining, which means the snowbirds will be running red lights and sliding all over the place. So, okay. So, do malignant narcissists ever feel guilty? No. Nope. 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 There's no there there. When I say there's no there there, I mean literally. There is no moral compass. They can mimic it. They can mimic regret. I'll tell you what. They make Laurence Olivier look like an amateur. Seriously. And all of the younger people are like, who the hell's Laurence Olivier? They make Tom Hanks look like an amateur. Okay. They make, who's the latest star? I don't know. Leo DiCaprio look like a community theater guy. Okay. These fuckers are the best goddamn actors in the world. They can mimic sadness. They can mimic regret. They can mimic the, oh, baby, I'm so sorry. It'll never happen. And make it sound so goddamn convincing. Nope. They don't feel guilt. If they did, they wouldn't do it again. That's your clue. Because here's the thing. A healthy, normal person, when somebody that they love says, hey, you hurt my feelings, that's not okay, a healthy, normal person would go, oh my God, I am so sorry. A real, honest to God apology, which narcissists cannot do. Their apologies are always, I'm sorry you feel that way, or I'm sorry, but you, putting it back on you. So, a real person apologizes, and then, here's the most important point, never does that action again. Ever. Period. Because to do the action again says, fuck you, I don't care. Yeah. So when they do it over and over and over again, they don't care. There's no moral compass there. Remember, they have an over-exaggerated sense of self. They feel that they are entitled, and that they deserve special treatment for absolutely no reason whatsoever. So why the hell would they apologize? Why the hell would they feel guilt? That's for puny people. That's not for gods like the narcissists. That's how they think. Okay. Okay. I've seen that, the smiling when you're in pain, the evil smirk. You betcha. You betcha. Diagnosed malignant and NPD malignant, ASPD and HPD. Yeah, you betcha. Yep. I think that's one of the things that keeps us trauma bonded. Yeah, the intermittent positive rewards. You betcha. It's that mirroring. I hate you. Mirroring. I hate you. Mirroring. Yeah, we get addicted to that. It's like cocaine. That's why it's so hard for us to leave. And that's why it takes about 7 times for us to finally leave, because we are addicted to the intermittent positive rewards. That's what's going on. We have to treat it like an addiction. And the only way to stop is to go cold turkey. You got to stop contact with your abuser, and you have to work like hell on your self-esteem, your boundaries, your list of deal breakers, your codependency. That's the only thing that's going to keep you safe, just like an addict, just like an addict. All right. I love you too, Agnes. Yeah, or they say you're too sensitive. There is no such thing, guys. The second anybody tells you you're too sensitive, shit, I gotta go. The second anybody tells you you're too sensitive, run. Do not walk to the nearest exit, because everybody's perception is valid. Just because you're sensitive on a topic and I'm not does not mean that your sensitivity is invalid. It just, dog face banana patch. Yeah, they do that. They're bastards. All right, guys, I love you all. Have a great week. On Sunday, I will be talking about healthy healing. We're going to talk more about moving past the abuse, how to keep moving forward, what you need to watch for, how to keep going forward into the future. All right, have a great Valentine's Day, everybody. Thank you, Amy. All right, guys, I love you, and keep the questions coming. So book signing, book signing, March 23rd, Changing Hands Bookstore in Tempe, Arizona. I will be doing an hour-and-a-half lecture. Well, I won't be doing an hour-and-a-half lecture, but I'll be lecturing for about 45 minutes or so, but then I want to take questions. Give me your questions. Come, ask me questions. You don't necessarily have to buy a book. Shh, don't tell anybody I said that. But, if you want to buy a book, that would be great. So March 23rd, book signing, Tempe, Arizona, Changing Hands Bookstore. Be there. All right, I got to jam, guys. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.